Sperm whales spend most of their days diving far underwater, where they hunt for squid. They surface every 45 minutes or so to breathe and bask in the sun. But not all sperm whales plunge into the deep. Newborn calves lack the endurance to make these epic dives and must wait near the surface for their mothers to return to them. This calf lolls in a gentle sea as his mother descends 1/4 mile. As she soars through the darkness and searches undersea canyons far below him in pursuit of squid, he can still hear her familiar sonar clicks. Fearless and playful, the lone baby whale turns and spins, exploring the dexterity of his great body in the weightless freedom of oceanic space. He is covered with remoras, harmless companions who cling to him for a spectacular free ride. When he learns to dive, they will probably leave him, unable to stand the cold and pressure of the abyss. The baby whale hears his mother returning. Reunited, they swim away through the vast blue waters.
While the rest of the pod heads down to feed in the volcanic depths, the bull's mother does not join them. The pangs of labor have started. The young bull stays on the surface with her. A team of killer whales have been following the social chatter of the sperm whales for several miles. If they isolate the young whale, they'll eat him alive. The pack switches to radio silence. 2 orcas peel off. They will close in from behind. Traveling at 35 knots, a killer takes a bite of flesh in less than a second. Now there is blood in the water, and the frenzy begins. The mother tries to put her body between the injured calf and the killers. Far below, the pod hear the orcas. They must return before it's too late. The pod arrives, but the danger is not over. They instinctively form a protective rosette around the injured calf. But the killer whales are relentless. They can kill an entire pod. but not today. A fully grown bull has arrived. Male sperm whales are 30% larger than females and carry over twice the weight. Unlike the females, they possess a formidable row of teeth. He's one whale too many for the killers. For the first time, the young whale meets the giant he will one day become. His life is already changing. In the center of the melee, his mother has given birth. A tiny sister. The young bull will no longer have the constant protection of his mother. He will have to start to face up to the dangers of the deep on his own.
Grey whales. They have followed the sun north, and they too are seeking the food that is generated by the bloom of the phytoplankton. Krill are feeding off it, and these whales are feeding on the krill, skimming it from the surface with the filter plates of baleen that hang from their upper jaws. Grey whales make one of the longest migrations undertaken by any marine mammal, a round trip of 12,000 miles or so, from their breeding grounds off Mexico, along the entire coast of North America, right up to the Arctic Ocean. They travel close to the coast, with the males and non-breeding females leading the way. The last to start are the cows that have just given birth. They have to wait until their newborn calves are sufficiently big and strong to tackle such an immense journey. Their progress is necessarily slow. The mothers must stay alongside their young, and even a strong calf can only travel at a couple of knots. They stick even closer to the shore, often within just 200 meters. Killer whales. They have learnt that grey whales follow traditional routes. The killers have no trouble in overtaking a calf and its devoted mother. Normally, they continually call to one another, but now they have fallen silent. The mother grey whale and her calf have no idea that they've been targeted. Catching up with the grey whales is the easy part for the killers. They have to be cautious, for they're only about half the size of the grey whale mother. She can inflict real damage with her tail. But the killers are not after her. They're after her calf. As long as the mother can keep it on the move, it will be safe, and she does her best to hurry it along. At first, the killers avoid getting too close to the mother, but just keep pace alongside. They know that the calf, going at this speed, will eventually tire. After 3 hours of being harried in this way, the calf becomes too exhausted to swim any further. The mother has to stop. This is the moment the killers have been waiting for. They start to try and force themselves between mother and calf. separated from its mother, will not be able to defend itself. Time and again, the black fins of the killers appear between the mottled backs of the grey whales. At last, the killers succeed. And now that they've got the calf on its own, they change their tactics. They leap right onto the calf and try to push it under. They're trying to drown it. The calf snatches a desperate breath. The mother becomes increasingly agitated. Frantically, she tries to push her calf back to the surface so that it can breathe. But now it's so exhausted that it has to be supported by its mother's body. The killers won't give up. Like a pack of wolves, they take turns in harassing the whales. Pod is involved. One of them takes a bite. Soon the sea is reddened with the calf's blood, and the killers close in for the final act. The calf is dead. After a 6-hour hunt, the killer whales have finally won their prize. The mother, bereft, has to continue her migration north on her own. She leaves behind the carcass of a calf that she cherished for 13 months in her womb, for which she delayed her own journey to find food. The pod of 15 killer whales spent over 6 hours trying to kill this calf, but now, having succeeded, they've eaten nothing more than its lower jaw and its tongue.
right behind that boat. That's a killer whale. Oh my god.
I don't know what it is, but I assume it's humpback.
You don't think it would be the orca that you just heard?
Oh,
I don't know. It's songs of humpback whales.
oh, we're starting to kind of play. Oh, there's that old pond.
Morning to see this fin coming out of the water for 20 years.
Oh, dolphin free chaser.
Completely out of the water.